Hi there, it's John from Commercial Real Estate Online. Welcome to the program. In this particular group of slides, I'm going to break down some strategies, particularly to help you with creating market share as an agent in this changing property market. Because there's a lot of business out there now, and it is a new property cycle, which is a massive opportunity. In saying that, there's some things to do. There's some ways of looking at the market and some steps that you can take regularly each day to improve your market share. So that's what these slides are all about. So I've broken the slides down into two groups. So today we'll put this particular group of slides out. I'll take you through that. And then, of course, I'll take you through the second group of slides in a day or so. So make sure you subscribe so that you get the next group of slides that complement the first group. So let's get into the program and let's look at your market share and how you can create more market share in this new market. Enjoy the momentum. So creating market share, it's all about what's going on out there at the moment and how you can do more with the opportunities that are all around you. I'd like you to think about your market and how you can get involved with your market more often, more frequently, and more professionally. Real estate brokerage is like all other types of property. Particularly, you have some territory management aspects to think about. Territory management is all about precincts, properties, streets, suburbs even, property types. And what you're doing is breaking things down and focusing in particular areas into certain properties. So effective territory management leads to greater listing opportunities and future deals. In this market, that is a good thing. So manage and control your patch or territory diligently and logically. So break that territory down into streets, get a map to do that, print the map off, use highlighters to show where you've been, what you've looked at, make your notes as part of that. And I'll talk to you about your notes in the program a bit later on as to how you keep your notes. So success in territory control has an immediate impact on your income. When you do things this way, you will find the listings. And then that leads to listing opportunities more frequently and, of course, income commissions over time. That's why this is so logical. Why do most agents not get involved in organising, splitting it down, breaking it down into precincts? Why? Because it takes a degree of focus. It takes systemisation, and that's why most agents struggle. Isn't that an amazing opportunity? So working your territory. Work your territory geographically. So if you've got a large part of the city that you should be working on, break it down. So break it down into groups of, say, 500 buildings or properties, which might be 2 or 3 streets. Street by street, precinct by precinct. And avoid missing properties or creating black spots in your information. Nothing is more frustrating than canvassing a street today that you thought might have some opportunity and maybe you missed 1 or 2 properties. And then next week, 1 or 2 properties, they get those signs that you wanted to get. In other words, another agent has got that particular property for list. So frustrating. That's why you've got to stay organised. Drill down, drill down, drill down. Overlooking properties may lead to other agents boarding them for sale or for lease, and that's not what you want. Be diligent, be absolutely thorough, and be persistent in what you do. So don't let another agent's signboard be a frustration in your area. If you're trying to control the area, you want more boards because the agent with plenty of boards will create a lot of opportunity, telephone calls, all sorts of business from that. So property canvassing. Optimise your awareness of various property matters in your territory. So what does this mean? It means drilling down into your territory as a patch, then looking at the property types that you can relate to strongly. For example, in my case, I know a lot about retail properties, bulky goods, shopping centres, that sort of thing. What's your preference? Optimise your precinct for the property types that you are very familiar with. Identify existing businesses, developers, vacant land and more. So when you drive through the streets which is initially the first process, make your notes. In one of our courses, I provide you with a breakdown note sheet, which you can fill out for particular properties. Now, you would take a photo of a property. You would then fill out the sheets with details of the business, the tenant, the design of the property, the type of property. Is it multi-tenant or single tenant? What does the area look like roughly? What are the neighbouring tenants? What are the neighbouring businesses? What does the street look like? What does the precinct look like? So that sheet of paper, when you fill it out, is very, very strong in letting you go to the next level. Now, I've said to you, you'll have a photograph of the building. That's fine. And by the way, I would recommend that you photograph buildings into Google Keep. Or if you've got an iPhone, you'll photograph it into some sort of note-taking app in an iPhone. Because it's there. And then you can go into your photograph later and upload all of your notes into that digital record. And all of a sudden, over a period of a few weeks, you've got a number of buildings to research and approach the owners about. Very simple, very easy. So understand the property zoning by street, owner-occupiers, tenants and allied professionals. Now, allied professionals means, it might even mean other agents, but I'm not so much worried about that. I'm talking about solicitors, accountants, financiers, people in the area such as franchise groups, anyone who needs to deal with property because they are your friend, because they have clients that you can serve. Now start with the major properties, of course, the big ones, the popular ones, the quality properties, and then expand your focus into secondary properties. So let's say you're canvassing 3 streets. Start with the big properties, the A-class properties, the quality properties that you really want to get into and list. When you've done that and you've looked at all the information, you've done your sheets, you've got your photographs, that's the A-class information underway. Then you focus on the B-class properties, which will still be nice properties, but they're perhaps not as new and fresh as some of the other properties. And then lastly, you'll be left with C-class properties. Now with C-class properties, they are usually very old, maybe becoming redundant, maybe there's a high vacancy factor, that sort of thing. So A, B and C. It's a simple way of breaking up your streets. And you can do that by colour coding also your notes in Google Keep. It's a great way to organise your potential listings and your research into other properties over time. So territory mapping and planning. What I'm suggesting here is you get a map of your city, and there's a map there. Go and get a map, look at the suburbs, decide what suburbs you want to work into, then get a street directory of that or print one off of Google, whatever it is. But get a hard copy street directory printed off with the streets. So then you can make your notes on the reverse side of every sheet and you can colour code the streets you've been into. That's like digging down. That's where you find things. That's what commercial real estate is all about. Research, persistence, consistency, an inquiring mind and connecting with people. So the map process really does work very well. Now work in your territory in stages, understanding the precincts, the streets, the buildings in great detail. So important. Know the property ownerships, the tenants, the zoning, the prices, the rents and the lease expiries. So when you talk to a business owner, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, Mr. Owner, do you lease the property or do you own the property? If you lease, when does your lease expire? Because I might be able to help you with better rents, better properties, other locations. Not a problem. Consider business and population demographics, the changes in that, road changes and competition. Now I'll just go back to the business and population demographics. Right now we are at the beginning of a new property cycle. Now that's good because all of a sudden the prices are becoming more realistic, as are the yields. The rents are becoming more sensible. The valuations are being perhaps reverted back slightly for a more ordinary market, which will be with us for 3 or 4 or 5 years. So what does that mean? Prospect every day deeply for 3 hours and talk to people, because soon There'll be so many people coming into the market because they've accepted change. And you are the agent who's talking about what's going on and how you can help them. You become a service solution. By the way, you don't set the prices or the rents. Sure, the client might ask you what the prices and rents are. I get that. But in the reality, the prices and the rents are set by the market, not you. You are a marketing resource. You take the listings and do more with the listings to find the business opportunity. Let's go further. Capturing and analysing information. Now, use the telephone a lot in talking to people because 3 hours of your day should be spent on the telephone. And of course, take on-site observations or street observations regards property, and then write down the information on your information sheet. Again, in some of my courses, I share that sheet so you can write down everything, and you're taking the photo, which I explained earlier. An organised agent, by the way, will always find the business faster than anybody else, and they'll create more commissions and listings for themselves. So physically explore your area to understand properties and locations. Visit your precinct 2 or 3 times a week when you're not making prospecting calls. Because when you go to your precinct, you will find businesses, things happening, redundant properties, new properties, developments. You'll see things happening. You'll see empty buildings where they weren't empty last week. You'll wonder what's going on. That's where you can do so much in real estate today. Get out there and have a look around. Carry a simple form to capture relevant property information. I'm very big on that. I have explained to you how to do it. I would recommend Google Keep if you've got a Gmail account. Develop a solid database and store that information. Now, if you're using Google Keep, everything goes into Google Keep. And when you are ready, you can go into the segmented photos with the property notes to start your research to find the building owner. Focus on quality buildings always. Now, building ownership information. I know it's a bit hard to find the building owner names in the majority of cases. I get that. Because some of the owners are buried behind company names. I get that. So what do? You still capture the information regards the building and you keep digging down into that building. It might take you days or weeks to get to the true owner of that property. But by your diligent process of Google Keep plus your file notes, you'll eventually get some sort of lead which takes you to the next step. Consider using a dictaphone and carry a dictaphone in your car and in your pocket. Now, I know most mobile phones have some sort of recording device. I get that. But a separate dictaphone is a better thing because it sits in your pocket. It doesn't interfere with your mobile phone use. And as you're walking around or driving around, you're in your car perhaps, you can use the dictaphone. You don't even have to look at what you're doing with it. You simply throw a switch, press a button, and you can record what you're seeing with the property over the road. So all of a sudden you have an audio recording about the property, you have a photo in Google Keep, you have your file notes on the standard form. That's the way you build opportunity in real estate today. And of course, over time, you'll build one-on-one relationships and build trust with key people. Allow people to know you, your expertise, your property speciality. Eventually, they'll respect your knowledge because you're talking about it. The clients of our property market need expert agents who are not experimenting with business. A top agent is a very definite person that digs into the information, the properties, what's happening, the rents, the prices, the supply, the demand, the zonings, the changes. That's how you can be a very good agent with what you're doing today. Take notes with what I'm sharing here, of course. Collect essential information about tenants and about property owners. That's where your sheets help you. That's where your photos help you. And that's how you build your market share, by getting organised, staying organised, looking around and making that system work for you as part of your real estate business. So, this is the end of the first part of the slides. There's another 7 to 10 slides in this particular group, which is all about building market share. I would encourage you to go into the rest of the slides in the second set of slides coming up, which I'll release later this week. So make sure you subscribe while you're here, and I'll go into further details regards building your market share. So this is John Hyman from Commercial Real Estate Online. Thank you for listening to the program today. I hope my enthusiasm is helping you think about what you're doing, what you're not doing, and how you can improve. And by the way, make sure you visit our website at commercial-realestate-training.com, and you'll get so much free information there to help you build your business. Thanks for listening today. I'll catch you again very soon. See you later.